Hello, this is Heisenberg, here to review the Hillary Clinton action figure. She comes from Toymaker Factory and sells for about $15. You can order her online, for example, from Big Bad Toy Store or also from Amazon. So we can see she comes with a pantsuit and pearls. I think she is a good likeness to Hillary. To me, she looks like Hillary as she was on the 2008 campaign trail. They gave the figure here kind of like a slightly big head, and that makes it look a little cartoonish. But I think that's still a good choice because it makes the figure kind of playful, but not too exaggerated. And with the larger head, also that it makes it a little easier to make the likeness accurate. So we're going to see in this pantsuit, I think is very accurate, including the shoes, the pearls, the earrings, the haircut. So here's some photos of her that wearing extremely similar clothing. So as you can see, I think it does match up very well. And here she's wearing some pearls. So here it is from a few other angles. Now in terms of her expression on the 2008 campaign trail, she would sort of when she'd speak at a big rally, she would often pose like looking very kind of like manic like this, as we'll see. Like here she is, waving to the crowd, looking very happy, very manic, eyes very wide. And here in this portrait, so they sort of exaggerating that a little bit in this figure. It almost looks like Homer Simpson's figure a little bit, as a friend of mine pointed out. Again, it's sort of like very very kind of wide-eyed and looking very happy. Now in terms of articulation, her head moves at the neck there. The arms move at the shoulder all the way around, and she also the arms also bend at the elbow. So not all the way around, but you can bend the elbow back and forth. And the hands move at the wrist. You can twist the hands all the way around at the wrist, and she also moves at the hips, not all the way around, but you can sort of twist her back and forth at the hips there. So with this articulation, you can sort of give her, it's easy to give her like a campaign trail pose of sort of like, waving to the crowd, arms up, again, looking very happy, sort of like turning to face different parts of the crowd. Now, in terms of size, she's 6 inches tall, as we'll see. And so I looked for figures to try to pair her up with. So I found a lot of figures are about 6 inches tall. I was looking for ones that matched best. So here's a 5-inch animated Batgirl from FCTRY. So that's a little small. Here's an Yvonne Craig Batgirl from FCTRY. Also looks a little small. Here's a Catwoman, a Mattel Catwoman. It's the same height, but Catwoman has like really long legs and a smaller head, so they don't really quite match up there and proportionally. And then, of course, here's a 12-inch Angela. So obviously Angela is like, much bigger than Hillary. Here's an 8-inch Thor. So he's a little too big to match up. And here's Doctor Who. He's about 5.5 inches. Notice he has a smaller body, smaller head, so he doesn't match very well. Hillary matches with the Cyberman a little better, but you'd think the Cyberman should actually be a bit bigger. And she matches with this Terminator pretty well. Again, maybe the Terminator should be a little bigger. She matches very well with Heisenberg here. I would expect Heisenberg to be taller, like that. And also she matches, I think, best with Londo here from Babylon 5. That's Ambassador Londo from the TV show Babylon 5. They both have like these, relatively large heads, and they look very similar. And then here she is with Godzilla, and of course she defeated Mechagodzilla. You would expect nothing less. Now, what about her hair? So Hillary has blonde hair, where some parts of the hair are a little lighter, a little darker. But this is my main disappointment with this figure. The one I got, as you can see, the background of the hair is sort of like this dark kind of like gray color, and then at the top there's this top layer of paint that's this very light blonde, and it doesn't really blend together well at all. I think in the pictures online, the prototype, they painted her hair a lot more, so it was a lot more blonde. So like compare, for example, to Thor here. He's also blonde and has sort of like, these lighter highlights, but it all sort of blends together much better. And so I would hope that they could do that for Hillary. And even with Heisenberg here with the brown goatee, notice he has different shades of brown in his goatee, but it blends together nicely. So that's my one thing that I'm a little disappointed in with the Hillary figure. Otherwise, it's I think it's a lot of fun to have. Here's a I like strong female characters, and Hillary certainly fits the bill. So there you have the Hillary action figure. This is Heisenberg, hoping you enjoy your most powerful woman in the world ready for action figure.